today's video, I'm going to be showing you a perfume bottle, a vintage perfume bottle that has the little air bladder, and then it goes through the tube and then it squirts out the perfume. I love these styles of bottles. They're so elegant. They're art on their own. And to get that bottle to look like that, to look like a faceted glass little bottle, I am using a technique that is very similar to the Waterdrop flowers from a few years ago. And if you are curious on how exactly that's accomplished, don't forget to keep watching through it. And I will see you all next time. Bye. Bye.
So we're going to begin just with an overlay of whatever kind of pretty color you like. I'm going in with this light pink because I want to maintain that vintage style. And this shade of kind of a blush pink is one of the original nail polish shades that was available. For a long time, it was like a nude color, a blush pink, and eventually red, and that was it. You couldn't get anything else. So I figured I would maintain that theme, and we're going to go in with this gorgeous color, plus it does happen to be one of my absolute favorites. After I have an overlay of that color, I'm going to then encapsulate it with a layer of clear acrylic. Now, on a piece of wire, long, fine wire, sorry, my camera's being a dork, I put down a bead of purple acrylic. That's going to be the color of my perfume, and then after it starts to polymerize, I'm going to use my gloved hand to press it into kind of an oval shape on the end of the wire. Once you get it to be about the shape you want, go ahead and grab some more of your purple acrylic and fill in any of the gaps that happen to be there, if there are any, especially right around the top of the wire. Let that cure completely and then dip it into some self-leveling builder gel. After that is done, twirl it around, make sure the gel's even, and then stick that in your lamp. Repeat the process for a second time to build up more of the builder gel, cure it, and then stick that back in and do it for a third time. Once you have 3 nice layers of builder gel over the top of your perfume core, and it's all been cured, go ahead and cleanse that. As you're curing each of those layers, make sure that you continuously spin the bottle inside your lamp. Once that's done, grab a flat-edged e-file. It doesn't have to be parallel. Mine is a little bit tapered, but make sure that it's a straight edge, it's not a football. And then carve little flat spots going all the way around the perimeter of the bottle in the middle. I'm going to make them on opposite sides so that I have them fairly evenly spaced, or an attempt to make them fairly evenly spaced. And then after I have 4, I'm going to fill in each of the spaces between them with 2 flatter areas. This is how we're faceting the bottle. So after you have them going all the way around the middle, I'm going to go through and add flat sections in a slightly like tucked in and then right across the bottom. And then I'm going to repeat that process for the top, adding my flatter sections off of each of those original ones across the middle. Use your e-file on a speed that takes off gel fairly quickly, but not so quickly you don't have control. If it's too slow, it's going to be hard to get the lines nice and straight because you'll have to go over it so many times. So you want to kind of find that balance between too slow where you can't get straight lines and too fast where you take off way more gel than you're planning to. Go ahead and carve a couple little dashed lines across the bottom of the bottle to create some more grip once you go to attach it to the nail. Now that that's done, take some more black acrylic, or not more black acrylic, but take some black acrylic, and we're going to be adding all of the squirter elements to the top of this perfume bottle. I did cover them with chrome gel paint, but having a black base creates a really rich chrome. So it's good to do this with black acrylic. If you don't want to use black acrylic for whatever reason that may be, use clear or white acrylic and it'll be fine. So I'm going to first create a little platform for where the squirter portion of the bottle would screw onto the glass part. So just create a nice little cylinder right around your wire. Keep your wire intact. Don't get rid of the wire. After that part of it's done, create the next layer. Remember, these bottles are elegant, they're artsy, there's different designs to them. If you look up vintage perfume bottles, you can see so many different designs that were used. You can, be inspired by a specific one, or you can take elements from multiples and just see what you like. Before you add the last section to the top of the perfume bottle, bend your wire at a 90-degree angle so that it's coming out the side of the squirter elements. Add the last section on top of that to hide the bend in the wire, and then leave that to cure so that it's completely firm. Once that's all set up, you don't have to worry about messing with the wire. We'll adjust your acrylic. Paint over the wire with a color that is complementary to your perfume color. Then apply a layer of top coat over the top of so your wire's completely painted with gel polish, and then top coat. I'm going to use chrome gel paint to paint all of the black of the squirter element. And because that is a gel paint that doesn't require top coat, I'm not going to bother top coating it, which is a great little bonus. Now, using a color that is about the same color as your gel polish, I'm going to be cutting several strands of thread. So I'm using a nice rich purple for all of these parts of the air pump. Now I'm going to align all of my threads so that they are in about the same position, nice and straight all together. This is where it gets a little hinky. There's probably easier ways to do this. This is my way. I'm going to fold them over a tweezers, and then I'm going to hold them together with a pinching tool. Now taking another piece of the purple thread, I'm going to tie them in a knot. I'm going to wrap it around a few times around the loop, and I'm going to tie that in a knot. Like I said, I'm sure there are easier methods, but this one just happens to be mine. Once I have those, so there's a nice little wound part over, I'm going to tie them off so that they cannot come apart. So give them a couple good knots right there. And then after it's knotted, I can pull out the tweezers, and I'm going to cut off the extra pieces of thread off of the tie, and then grab another piece of thread, and I'm going to string it through the loop where the tweezers was, and I'm going to tie that off so that all of the loops are nice and snug together as well. Don't cut off all of the extra pieces of that thread. Keep a little bit of that available. Slide the one knot up towards the other one, and then you have a tiny tassel. After you have a tiny tassel, then you're going to take the end of the little hose. I'm going to kind of bend it around at a nice curve and cut off the extra wire. Once I've got the extra bit cut off, however much seems to be extra, you can kind of set it up against the nail, cut off a little bit of the extra thread from the top knot, and then attach the top knot to the end of your gel polish covered wire with some jewelry gel. You may need to employ tweezers or something to help keep them stuck, but you want them as smooth and flat to the wire as possible. So you might have to hold them there and then stick them in the lamp to cure while holding it with the tweezers. That's what I did. After it is cured and the little pieces of thread are attached and your tassel is stuck, grab some purple acrylic that is close to your thread color and close to your gel polish color. So before you start any part of this process, grab all three of those pieces so that you know that you have a color that goes with everything, and create the little hand pump. So make a nice little dome shape. Take your time, do this in a couple different layers. You don't want to get too much acrylic stuck onto your thread because it won't come off easily. So make sure that you are taking your time so that you don't end up with a mess. Just go over it piece by piece, kind of fill out the shape of that little air bladder. Make sure you look at it from different angles to see if there's any spots that may need a little bit more product to round out. Now going back to my black acrylic, I'm going to add the connector piece for the hose to the pump. I could have waited to do all the chrome on the rest of that top piece until I finish these parts, but you know, I was eager to see how it looked chrome. So I'm going to add another little connector from the air bladder to the hose, and then with a small brush, cover those with my of the chrome gel paint. Same thing once that's cured though, no top coat required. So after those two pieces are covered, it really starts to come together at this point. It looks so complete. And then go ahead and cure that. And now I'm going to attach the base of the perfume bottle to the nail with some clear acrylic, holding that in place until it grabs. Like I said, it's really helpful to add those little scratches essentially on the bottom of the bottle so that it has enough, the acrylic has enough to grab onto. Otherwise, acrylic and gel, usually they'll just pop away from each other. So you got to add a little bit of a grip there. Attach the bladder to the nail and then take some gel top coat and apply gel top coat over the bottle, and it will look so amazing. The clear from the gel is just so crystal clear, and then all of the facets, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Trim off the extra little bit off the tassel, and then that's it. It's all done. It's actually a much easier design than a lot of them that I do, and it looks so incredibly impressive. If you decide to give it a try, I'd love to see what your take is on it, or even if you just try out that faceted technique, you can make some really cool rings or some earrings or all sorts of stuff. There's so many opportunities. I hope you like it, and I will see you all next time. Bye.